live. No longer in the social distancing prison. We are back. Back.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are doing
Trauma Guys.
Yeah, I'm Lee.
Chaos.
We're a little all over the place, but we haven't been in the same room in over 6 weeks, so we decided to do one live. And I know some of you are going to say, but you're touching each other. Well,
yeah, how do you like that, huh? How do you like that? Yeah.
But today we're back with a little more dark side of the ring. We're going to be doing this season, and we're also going to be doing some from the first season as well. So today we're here to talk about Dr. D, David Schultz, the latest episode from Dark Side of the Ring Season 2. Alright, now, if you don't know who David Schultz is, he's the reason why wrestling got kind of a little boost in the 80s.
Yeah, just a little boost. Just a little boost. The smack heard around the world.
Precisely. So, in the early 80s, John Stossel worked for 2020. And he was one of those reporters that went out to prove if stuff was real and stuff about it. And he didn't really care for professional wrestling. He liked it as a kid, but thought it was a joke and wanted to kind of push some stuff out there. So, he approached 2020 came to do some stuff at Madison Square Garden with the WWF at the time, and he approached Dr. David Schultz and kind of got a little more than he asked for.
Yeah. So, I guess he'd interviewed some other wrestlers, and then he got to Schultz, and he asked him the question, and he got smacked. He got smacked. He got back up. And then he got smacked again and he got knocked back down. And, John Stossel said, well, my ears were ringing. And he said, was that fake? Huh? How's that? Or something like that. What did he say? How's that feel? He goes, that seemed fake to you? There's always that question. And, for people who don't understand why pro wrestlers get mad when, you call it fake. It's not fake. You're using the wrong word. Okay? It's predetermined. You can even call it choreographed. Yes, it is scripted, but all the stuff they're doing to their body and all the whole show they're putting on for you. They're like trained stuntmen. Okay, the whole show they're putting on for you. Every bump they take, every slam they take, every time they hit the ground, every time they fall through a table, it's all real. All that stuff's real, and they to give you guys a good show and put on an entertaining match, right? What they do is they put their bodies through the ringer for that, and they do it 300 days a year, so you can't really call it fake per se. Well, they're not really hitting each other. I mean, yes and no. Yes and no.
In some cases they are, to give it more. Some guys go out there and they let the other guys hit each other because they want to give you the best that they can possibly get. And once in a while, some of those guys don't like each other, so they do give the other guy a little more than he would like to be. But at the same time, they're there to protect one another. And let's put it this way. If you were literally beating somebody like that every day, 300 days a year, you'd probably be dead.
Right. Right. Yeah, you might be. You might be dead.
But these guys put their bodies through that for these time period. And to call it fake, it takes a lot to train to be at this level and to know how to work with somebody. Because you make the slight bit mistake, a fraction of something off, and that's it for somebody. Either they're injured for life or their injury that they have to be out and sustain, and they're not making any money.
There's a skill to it, okay? But believe me when I tell you, there's plenty of skill to it, and there's plenty of pain to what those guys do. For those of you who are Jackie Chan fans, okay? For those of you who are Jackie Chan fans, if you see the, what do they call those? Outtakes?
Yes.
Don't they call them? Outtakes. If you see the outtakes at the end of his movies, if you ever, stop to watch the credits roll, and they'll always show you Jackie shooting some of these stunts over and over and over again. And sometimes he gets hurt. I think in one movie, he broke his foot.
And they put
like a fake boot on him. But you couldn't tell, but he still jumped from one building to another. I mean, and no, jumped like off a bridge onto a boat or something.
But in his case, he got a chance to do it over and over. These guys only get one because they're doing it in front of you.
But my point is, it's not. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's not all the same thing. But my point is yes, it's a movie, but the things that Jackie Chan are doing in the movie. Right, for the most part, like all his stunts, all the times he's getting hurt. He's probably really getting hurt. His reactions are probably real because he does a lot of his own stuff, and that's what, when you see a pro wrestler cringe, she's acting a little bit, but some of the time, they're really hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really hurting. They hit the ground wrong, or they hit the ground hard, or sometimes it. It doesn't go always the right way. So,
and the whole purpose of this is, and some of this, Dr. D kind of got the stiff end of the deal. Now, he was one to fight for the business, and he believed in kayfabe. If you don't know what that means, if you're a wrestling fan, you automatically know what that word means. It's carny talk. It's a way of telling the story without actually giving away the story. So, if we were battling against each other, we could never hang out. So, if I left, and he left the building, he left in one car, I left in the other. Even if we were best friends, we could talk on the phone, but we could never be seen together in public.
Right.
We couldn't go down the road and have dinner and meet, because the moment they see us, then they know that what's going on. To keep that kayfabe was something that he believed in a lot.
Right.
And Vince McMahon walked in and said, hey, there's some reporters here tonight. They're going to ask you a question. I need you to be Dr. D tonight. That's who I need you to be. And that's who he was. He was playing his character. He was playing who he was supposed to be. And Dr. D didn't take crap from anybody. Period. He was known for being that guy. He said something, he did it, and if you were working with him, that's the way it was. If you didn't get it, then he was going to hurt you. And that's just who he was.
Yeah.
So, after that, he was sent to go stay in a hotel. Right after that happened, he was told, pack your bags up, go to the hotel. Following day, Vince told him, oh, no problem, we'll work something. Just go home for a while, we'll work this thing out. No, he didn't. Dr. D still lost his job. He still got screwed out of a lot of stuff. To this day, I hate to tell you.
And they tried to make him, what he said, they tried to make him sign off on things. It was all his fault.
Yeah, saying it was all his fault. And it was not. He was told to do something. He did what he did for the business and for his boss.
That's right.
And I don't care what anybody says. Vince McMahon, I get he's your boss, but he makes a lot of mistakes, and that's one right there that he made. But there's a lot of them through history, and a lot of mistakes he's making right now, and people are finally kind of catching on. Well, what? I get the WWF and the WWE. I love wrestling too, and it's been around a long time, but you cannot be that guy who you threw one of your wrestlers to the wolves, and other people just act like, who cares?
But, and then, so then he said after that, he had trouble getting booked. He went to Japan, and in Japan they were in the storyline, they wanted him to hit a reporter and do all these things, and so it's like, it followed him and never ended, but it didn't really help him when he got to that point. All right? Now, granted, he ended up, making a name for himself, just in a different world. Right, so his character, I would say that guy, a lot of his character was actually him.
Probably a lot of it.
Probably was actually him, because after seeing what he became and what he ended up doing with his life after pro wrestling, it had to have been, right? Some of that had to have been what he really was,
Well, he became a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And he found some pretty big cases out there. He did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there for a short time, he even had a camera crew that would go around and they do basically kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter, except with somebody who actually used guns and not the weird Dog the Bounty Hunter that really never escalates to too much.
Right. Well, at least we don't know.
Yeah.
It escalates too much. Yeah, it's edited that way. We don't really know actually what happens, but yeah.
But he kind of had something to move on to. Luckily, it fit him and kind of fit who he was, but a lot of times he got put in roles, he was the bad guy, but he did his job, when he got the heat and stuff that he was supposed to. But me personally, on my personal point of view, I just feel like, he got kind of screwed and all that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, he did it, and he did his job that he was asked to do. And maybe should have been another way he could have handled it, but he didn't.
Right, and they said they told me I need you to be doctored down. I need you to protect it, right? I need you to protect it, and then it went on to say that later on, so that they no longer had to get sanctioned. He went on to Vince went on to call it entertainment. And so that they wouldn't have to deal with sanctions and things like that.
So they wouldn't have to pay boxing commissions anymore.
So basically it becomes just a show at that point. Yeah.
So that's another point right there is wrestling was never sanctioned. Anyway, early days it was, because it was still, they had a lot of that kayfabe. It was still considered a sport. They still had to go through a boxing commission. They still had to do all this blood test and all this other, or whatever they had to go through back then stuff. So when he turned it into entertainment, they just scrapped all that. And It was called sports entertainment. They didn't have to do the sanctions anymore.
Yeah. So, but after all that, Dr. Death loses his job, and the guy was awesome. I liked him, man. I thought his character was cool. He was awesome. I'm glad it worked. I'm glad it worked out for him. After the fact, but John Stossel with the big "F-U" at the end, but you know what, man? You're a reporter. You kind of sign up for something like that. I'm sorry, but you do, man. If somebody, look, it could have been anything. It may not have been pro wrestling. People hit reporters all the time. Yeah. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not. But as a reporter, especially an investigative reporter, right, there is a chance you might get smacked if you go to talk to somebody. Hell, that might happen to me one day if I go ask the wrong question.
What? Back then, though, reporters actually wanted to tell a real story and get to the bottom of something. And today, they don't care. Yeah. They just don't. So, but other than that, guys, this episode was great. We enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Learned a little bit more about Dr. D, David Schultz, a little bit more about his background and stuff about him. If you enjoyed what we had to say, great. Leave a comment down below. Hit us up with a thumbs up. If you have something you would like us to talk about or review, hit us up in the comments down below. You can hit us up on our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. We have all those things. Go ahead and check us out. See what you think. Invite a friend. Invite a couple of people. And we also like to thank you guys for, we had a couple of our videos finally make it up at over 1,000. One even almost close to 5,000 right now, so we appreciate those views.
Absolutely.
And keep them coming, man. Until next time, we're the Trauma Guys. I'm Lee.
Fayaz.
Later.